Hi, I'm Natasha Bailey from Soul Mission, and I'm here with Amanda, who has been receiving a series of treatments from me. She has received the Matrix Unplugging session, isn't that right? And the chakra unification and removing false ties to false reptilian ties to the Kundalini. So, Amanda, I mean, how are you feeling about your period, or what experience have you had with your period, before you got these treatments with me?
Before I got the treatments, I wasn't officially diagnosed, but I know that I was suffering from PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So before my periods, a week before my period, I would go into a really, really dark place, even to the point in previous years, I tried to commit suicide twice at these times. So it's really hard to contain my feelings and my emotions, and then it would just sort of tailor off a day after I would bleed. I can remember being sat in the hospital on the hospital chair, commode toilet, bleeding after I tried to take my life. And the feeling of relief as I was bleeding from those feelings, I was lucky that I didn't actually take it to the full point where I'm no longer here. But before my period, I would feel like I needed to escape from my body. My emotions were so intense. I had to contain how I was feeling about myself. I know there are other women out there that suffer from this. But I would literally not want to be in my body. I would literally want to escape being me. And it was frustrating because I would spend 2 weeks of the month in a really good place, doing really well in whatever I was doing. And then for 2 weeks, I was a complete mess. That stopped me from holding jobs down. Relationships were difficult. And just that for me, it was about containing myself within the environment. I know some women actually attack other people when they're actually doing it, and I can understand why, because you need that release. So the only way that I could release this was being indoors, shut in. If I was outside walking, well, I felt this way before my period started. Cars would be dangerous, railway stations would be dangerous, bridges would be dangerous, because I'd literally want to either throw myself in front of a car, jump off a bridge, jump under a train, jump into a river, and just drown myself. So a couple of times I tried to strangle myself with a scarf, which felt really stupid after I did it. And I couldn't really explain to anyone, or felt embarrassed to go to the doctor about what I was feeling. Because it didn't make sense. I did have psychotherapy and I did have antidepressants, but they called it reactional depression. They called it reactional suicide to life. But I knew that every month I would go through this, and it was really, really difficult to, I'd literally have to be indoors, and I'd literally have to pin myself down. I'd feel awful. I'd want to eat loads of junk food. I'd want to just watch TV just to switch my brain off from what I was going through. But this is what my months were like every single month. And then obviously being perimenopausal, my periods are less frequent now. My last period, which was approximately 6-7 months ago, was still heavy, painful. I still had some of the emotions, I still have some of the feelings, but they weren't so intense. And I've just had another period after 4.5 months, and what a difference. The period was actually a surprise for me. I had period pain within my pelvis, but thought I was overdoing the exercise. I thought that's what it was. So to actually bleed without the PMDD symptoms was, for me, quite miraculous. And then I did have some of the feelings of not wanting to be in my body as I was actually bleeding. This is different from when I felt I had PMDD. So actually having those feelings of not wanting to be in my body, but I think what it was at the time is there was emotional stuff that I wasn't sorting through, and I needed to release that through my period blood. I'm trained in fertility massage and stuff like that. So I went, because of my PMDD, I went and trained to help other women. but to have that insight, the difference between the PMDD, depression and suicidal, and actually not feeling right within the period, but knowing as women, when we're in Crohn, we need to release stuff out that's not serving us. So to actually be able to do that in the actual period, with not actually wanting to kill myself, I was actually able to drive.
Wow. You were able to drive, and you normally wouldn't be able to drive during this time.
During this time.
Wow.
So for me, it was a life changer. So obviously I don't know, being perimenopausal, whether I'm going to have another period, but I know now that I don't have to worry about my period. I don't have to panic about the feelings that I'm going to be feeling. Yes, I felt tired for 2 days. That's normal. I was exhausted. I just wanted to sleep. I'm still eating the junk food, but that's all part of feeding the Crohn, or our period when we've got it. But so for me to actually be able to drive, for me not wanting to kill myself, for me not being able to be outside walking around and not feeling those intense suicidal feelings, for me was just a life changer. And
that's incredible.
So I had the treatments I've had with Natasha.
That's so incredible. And for you to actually go through a Crohn menstruation experience, and actually give yourself permission to feel your feelings and allow that flow and release and monthly detox to happen, compared to before, which from what you've said, before, and correct me if I'm wrong, before you had to kind of either suppress or contain your feelings or distract yourself in the run-up and during your period, so that you wouldn't tip yourself over the edge, to now actually being in a position where you can feel your feelings. I mean, what's that like for you to get to that space of it feels safe to release your feelings?
It at first, I couldn't quite understand it, because it was not something that I was used to being able to do. I got so used to containing them. Part of me wanted to carry on containing it. It didn't want it to feel those emotions. But when I sat with it and then allowed those emotions to come up, and then allow them to be released through the bleed, it was just, it was a brand new experience for me, and something I've not experienced for years. Amazing. And for me, if I don't have another period, that is fine, because for me it was closure of all those years of suffering.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I know you very well, and I've seen how you've struggled, and for you to get to this point is I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. What do you think life is going to be like going ahead? Knowing that you don't have to go through this kind of difficult situation in the future.
It's a relief. There's almost as if a pressure valve has been taken off of me, and that I can feel my feelings without worry about hurting myself or hurting others. I never did hurt anyone else, but I know some women do. So being able to just, if I have another period, it's not going to be so bad. Oh yeah, the bleeding's going to be a bit, because that happens as with perimenopausal, you can bleed heavier. But to be able to know that I can do this now and just be more stable within my emotions is just, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe that I had that period like that, because wow. I've suffered for years like this.
How many years would you say you suffered for?
Since I was the age 15.
15. And
that's how long it's been going on for.
Many decades.
Yeah.
Well, without revealing your age.
I don't
many
mind
decades.
revealing my age. I'm 53 this year, so you're talking nearly 40 years.
Wow.
Of suffering.
So to women who are experiencing PMDD or intense PMS symptoms, who may feel suicidal during their cycle, what would you say to them if they were considering receiving those 2 treatments from me?
I would say definitely go ahead and do those treatments, because it will change your life, because it's changed mine. And one other thing is just be gentle with yourselves. If you're considering this, but you're not quite ready yet, reach out to someone, let them know how you feel. You'd be better off talking to another woman than you would, or get support. I know doctors, it's difficult to diagnose, but more women are coming forward with it. So be gentle with yourself, help and support yourself. This is just something that you're going through, but definitely contact Natasha and talk to her about these 2 treatments, and also the other female stuff that she does as well. So, because you would really benefit from it.
Well, thank you for that testimonial, and I wanted to add to your message, and I wanted to say to all women that you going through PMDD or intense PMS symptoms, it's not your fault. And no, you are not broken. You are not wounded. Sure, we as women, we do experience emotional pain, and a lot of us have experienced trauma in our life. And it's not fair if bad things happened. And it's time to find a safe space where you can actually release and allow those feelings to come up. And also, I wanted to let you know that the PMS and the PMDD symptoms is partly it's down to trauma, but partly it's also about matrix, a dysfunctional matrix type energy that is in your energy field. And from my understanding of this and my training in this was created to unfortunately create undue suffering for women. And I think this is just another strange, energetic, spiritual matrix energy overlay that has been placed on some women to make life more difficult for them. And my gut instinct is it's because you have something special to offer to the world. You have a mission that's important, that could benefit the world, humanity. And I feel like this overlay that has been placed on you, on your female energy system, has been designed to stop you in your tracks, to prevent you from moving forward. And it's not fair. And I also believe you don't have to suffer with this. So if you are wondering if these treatments are something that you may need, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'll leave a link below, and you can book to have a small consultation with me to see if we are a good fit to work together and if I could potentially help you. So Amanda, once again, I'm so inspired by your experiences and what you've gone through, and I can't wait to hear more about how your life unfolds and what other amazing changes and insights that you get along the way. So thank you so much for sharing your story, and I think a lot of women will be inspired by your courage and your strength to come forward and share that. So thank you so much. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.